Hello, everybody. Hopefully, everybody's doing good. Share this out. Kanye is more of a cultural phenomenon than he is a rapper. He is a totally different beast than just a regular rapper. This is someone who I went to high school and I lived in the dorm at high school. And my roommate would sit and analyze for hours and hours and hours lyrics of Kanye West. This is a Jewish boy from Connecticut, young, 17-year-old Jewish kid, sitting in his room analyzing the lyrics of Kanye West for hours. I know his whole discography basically from this kid who was my roommate. So I know music from Kanye very deeply, and I know the effect he has on people. Thank you for the super hearts, by the way. I know the effect he has on people, the communities, and cultures. So when he comes out, this is someone who people look through his music, they look through his speeches. He gives a lot of rants, he gives a lot of things on Twitter. You've never seen some one celebrity really have a hold on people just by their thoughts like Kanye does. People are always looking for the next Kanye interview. It's important to note, I know you just said you were listening to some of his songs. One of his first songs was called Jesus Walks. Kanye has never been shy about his Christian beliefs, ever. One of the first songs, his first song he ever came out on his own solo was called Through the Wire. But the second song he put out was Jesus Walks. Now, look at the other rappers. They're not talking about Jesus and getting on mainstream radio. They're not talking about Christianity and getting on mainstream radio whatsoever. The topic of Christianity in most of the rap is sort of not there at all. So when you see that kind of stuff, and then you look at what he's doing with the MAGA movement, it totally makes sense. And what he's doing, this is not so much him saying to all his people, you're going to become MAGA. You're going to become MAGA. I know Stacey Dash is in All Falls Down. Because you have to realize, conservatism is so much more popular in the music industry than you would know. They just can't say that. They can't express that because of the pervasive culture. I don't know about Common. I don't know about all these people that are surrounding Kanye. I think you have John Legend. He came out today. He very much against what Kanye said. And Chrissy came out very much against what Kanye said. John Legend basically owes a great deal of his career to Kanye West. If you don't know the story, he's actually signed. John Legend, he came out in like 2004. He had a song. I worked in R&B radio for years, so I know more about this music stuff than I even know about politics, believe me. And there is a correlation with Jesus Walks in these Trump rants, because what he's always done is went across the grain and said what's right. He's always said what's right. You never had anyone stick up for Jesus on mainstream radio prior to Kanye West. It never happened. You never had anyone stick up for Donald Trump in mainstream political... I am 25. How old do I look? You never had anyone stick up for Trump in the mainstream celebrity culture right now, like you have Kanye West sticking up for Trump. So it's fascinating. It is fascinating to see this. And when you look at Kanye, a lot of people have said, I think this is for record sales. I think this is for record sales. I don't believe it. I don't believe that it is a real thing. Folks, Kanye in 2016, right after the election, he went off on the entire Hillary Clinton. I'll put it on, I'll have them uploaded to my Twitter. He went crazy. He said, Hillary Clinton, people have feelings. Middle America showed you how we felt. He went on this whole rant, huge rant. And then they committed him. They put him in the psych ward or something like that. They said he had lost his mind. Kanye never lost his mind. People didn't want him speaking the truth because the Democrat Party knows what this means. The Democrat Party knows exactly what this means. You might not have 1,000,001 black Americans coming out to the polls and voting for Donald Trump in 2018. But what you're gonna have is a lot of people questioning. Where was conservatives when Kanye said Bush doesn't love black people? That was back in 2005 with Katrina, and I don't remember that, to be quite honest with you. I was 10 years old or 12 years old. I don't even remember that moment. I don't remember what happened from that, but it just shows that Kanye is open to thought. You know what I mean? I admire that. I admire even what he says. A lot of people don't like what he says about the black community needs to come first in his mind. I expect him to say that. You know what I mean? I expect him to say that. I expect him to always show his views. I expect that. That's not a surprise. He's outspoken and he puts his people first. That's a different... You can't blame somebody for wanting to put their people first. And that's why now he's realized that we need to put America first. I don't remember when Jesus Walks was released either. No, that I do remember. The difference was I wasn't watching the Katrina fundraiser. I was probably doing homework, but I was listening to the radio. Honestly, I'll tell you the truth though. I listened to old school radio. My mother would not let me listen to that stuff with all the bad words. We listened to a lot of the old school R&B. I mean, I probably didn't hear a song from above 2004 until like 2010. Believe me, my mother raised me so old. That's why I'm old now. But the bottom line is, you had Kanye in this trap, right? He was always looked at as an outsider, an outcast. The media killed him. Remember when he very rightfully said that Taylor Swift did not deserve that award when nobody knew her, and the mainstream media killed him? South Park killed him. Lady Gaga dropped him from the tour they were about to go on. It was a disaster. South Park did the whole gay fish thing. It was a mess. It's very similar to the Make America Great Again people, because we have been beaten down by the media. We have been beaten for years. This didn't just start yesterday. We have been beaten down. We have been discriminated against by the media, talked about like a dog. Just today in New York, they actually ruled that you can throw somebody out of your establishment for wearing a Make America Great Again hat in the city of New York. If someone is wearing a Make America Great Again hat, you can throw them out of your establishment. Okay? You can throw them out. Oh, I know my mother did me a favor. She raised me so well, thank God. I might never have turned out like this if my mother didn't raise me exactly the way she did. Who knows? So, we were told we were nothing. We were told so many awful things. And then it's the same with Kanye. That was just for New York, right? Kanye was talked about like a dog. Kanye was treated like a dog by the mainstream media. When Trump came along, he was the first person really to ever call out the media. He was the first person to ever really sit there and say, hey, the television is lying on me. The television is lying on you. No one ever did that before. So when Kanye sees that, he says he doesn't necessarily agree with all of Trump's policies, but he agrees with his energy. And that's something that we all can agree on, okay? The news is fake. I mean, that's not a lie. Anybody can sort of prove that to you. The mainstream media peddles a total narrative that is 100% agenda-driven, not fact-driven. When you watch CNN, they're telling you the facts that fit their agenda, and they're not even facts a lot of the time. When you watch MSNBC, they're telling you the facts that fit their agenda. When you watch Fox, they're telling you what fits their agenda. That's why I don't watch one news source, me. I watch all of them. It's very, very weird. A lot of people think I'm crazy because most people have cut the cord. I watch a lot of different media. I watch NBC, MSNBC. I do. I watch them quite a bit, to be honest with you, because I want to know what the other side is talking about so I know how to actually counter that narrative. You know what I mean? I can convert someone over to our side if I know what's in their head. You know what I mean? You can't convert someone. You can't talk to someone actually about the issues if you don't know what they're being fed. There's so many people that they sit there, they say, I'm only watching Fox and I'm only reading Breitbart. And that's fine, because that's nice. That's nice. You don't have to hear the other side. But I want to hear the other side, because I want to make sure then when I talk to the people, because I'm always in combat. I am always in combat. When you see me on these sites with these people, I'm always in combat. The trolls are always trolling me. So I got to know what to say and what they're listening to. So when Kanye's telling the people, don't get all your stuff from once, and even Kim Kardashian. Nobody ever thought they would see Kim Kardashian call out the mainstream media. You never thought you would see that. I mean, I sat there, I said, huh? So the conservative movement, I'm responding to this guy in here now, because the conservative movement has changed. Okay? It's true. It's changed. And what conservatism is, okay, it's small government, less government involvement, and just individual prosperity that doesn't believe in collectivism and identity politics. We believe. I don't think Kim doing that is laughable. And yes, believe me, Kim has an incredible influence on society. Believe me, it might not be in your generation. I don't know how old you are behind that screen. But I know in my and that's meant with total respect. In my generation, these people, they live, breathe, and eat. Kim, Kylie, Chloe, all these people. They are, you have no idea. If these people post one little thing, and people do projects in school about Kylie Jenner and her makeup. People do, literally, they research these people and write papers on them. I know someone who's writing a paper, like a month and a half ago, they wrote a paper on Kim Kardashian and her. These people are totally engulfed with this family. So when someone like them comes and blasts a hole into the, I know a lot of individuality's gone, I know. But when somebody like them blasts a hole into the media, blasts a hole into the fake news, you never can discount how much that really, really means for everyone. You can't imagine. Just today, I have a lot of people that since the election have not spoken to me. A lot of people. They just can't speak to me. They cannot bring themselves to speak with me. And I have one friend who is very, very well known. I won't say who, but their friend who was around them texted me today and said, you were right. Because I said this would happen. I said this would happen because it was always, to me, I knew. I left radio. I was working in radio during the 2016 election. We didn't talk about politics on the station I was doing. A little bit we did. There was a little involvement. But all the involvement was with Democrat politicians. I come from a very Democrat, background as far as people. So when we were on the air speaking about the primaries, my co-host, she was voting Hillary. And I said, okay, that's fine. And she said, so who are you going to vote for? And she figured I would be voting for Bernie. And I said, no. And I was on the air. And I just tried to sit there because I didn't want to say, because, my job, I don't want to get fired. So I said, well, I'm voting. I'll be voting. And then she said, well, who are you voting for? If you're not voting for Hillary, you're not voting for Bernie. You're not voting for that racist, are you? This was right on the air. And I said, oh, I'm voting for Trump. Ooh. You have no idea. You have no idea. So from that moment, it was really interesting because a lot of people stopped speaking to me. A lot of people stopped doing this. A lot of people stopped doing that. People. It just happened. So when Trump became president, and it all happened. I said, sooner or later, people are going to align with Trump. They might not agree with him, but the way the media has beat him down, I mean, it didn't start, because in the primaries, the media didn't beat Trump up too much, if you remember. In the primaries, the media were behind Trump, because they thought they could beat Trump. Okay? So, they didn't really bash Trump. As soon as those primaries ended, then you started to get the fake allegations, you started to get the fake stories, you started to get all this disaster. I said to myself, and to other people, I said, what they're doing now, what did he do on Fox and Friends? He didn't do anything wrong. What did he do? I didn't see. I mean, I saw it, but I didn't see anything wrong. So they said, the more this media continues to attack him, the more they do this, the more people are going to fall for him. And hip-hop has always been about a counter culture. You are counter-acting. Hip-hop was founded as a very much so, I don't know how to describe it. I mean, you know the story of how hip-hop was founded with the Beat Boys and all that. But it was a counter-culture. It was a counter-revolution to everything that was going on at the time. It spoke about issues. It spoke about all different types of things that had to do with social justice. They talked about racism. They talked about, societal issues. It was very rebellious. It was a rebellious movement, and it totally shifted the entire paradigm of music at the time. It was a counterculture. And what Trump did has become a counterculture, even though hip-hop did not come from Miley Cyrus. I took an entire class, my friend, in college, about, I forget what it's exactly called, but the history or something of hip-hop. It was an elective. So, look at you, we got a racist in here. All y'all white cunt moms look like you all eat shit. You're a racist ass. Get out my town. Please leave. We don't take racism in here. No way. And Miley Cyrus is not the greatest of all time. I hate to tell you. That's a sad soul right there. Anyway, so what I was saying is the hip-hop movement was counterculture. The Trump movement is counterculture. It only made sense that eventually they would align. And that's what the establishment doesn't want. The establishment does not want people from divergent backgrounds to align. You have Trump, and then you have Kanye West. These two people are not supposed to go together. But when you put the end of everything, the final conclusion of all this is that counterculture, and that's it. It goes together. It totally goes together. And it's happening. And this is now the time that other people are going to look at this and say, if Kanye West, who I've respected since I was 10 years old, can get behind Donald Trump, I grew up on his music, if he can get behind a man who's so pro-black, a man who's so pro-America, a man who's so pro, everything Kanye's for, evolution, progress, true progress, not progressivism, progress. Kanye's behind all those things. How can he get behind a man like Trump? And then they're going to say, and they're going to look, and they're going to say, maybe he's not so bad. And it's going to open a conversation. So within 4, 5, 6 months, maybe you won't have to worry so much about saying you're MAGA if you're scared about it. Because a lot of people are scared to say it. There's a lot of silent MAGA out there. And there's a lot of people that only have sat and listened to the media. Trump's a racist, Trump's this, Trump's evil, Trump's that. And then they see Kanye freaking West with a MAGA hat on, and they said, well, maybe he's not a racist. Or maybe there's something else. Maybe something else is up. It's going to happen, folks. And I've said it's going to happen, and it's going to come more and more. Last night, you saw the other guy. His name is Chance the Rapper. I'd say if you look at who the millennials are listening to as far as rap, he's about fourth or fifth in relevance of rappers that millennials are listening to now. This guy, Chance the Rapper. And he came out, he's anti-Trump, but he is like the Obama's best people. Obama loved this guy. Obama was obsessed with this Chance the Rapper. Michelle gave him a whole bunch of stuff, and it was a big story. So he said, Democrats Black people don't have to be Democrats. Black people don't have to be Democrats. Now, the conventional thinking in many black communities, because of many years of conditioning from the mainstream media, is that you must be a Democrat. If you're not a Democrat, you're a racist. The conventional thinking has now, it's totally changed. And these are people with major followings. You have to understand that. These are people with major, major followings. This is not, Goody Two Shoes and Tommy Two Fingers coming out and saying that you got to be a Democrat or you don't have to be a Democrat. Am I a Democrat? No. No, I'm not. And people have now woken up. They've now woken up. And they're going to begin to question everything. The history is another story. The history is 100% against the Democrats when it comes to the African American community. I am pro-life, yes. I am pro-life. I am. So what we have to realize is that this is really going to change things. I know you might not say, you say it's one person, it's one man, it's one thing. I wouldn't say that it's going to be a big counter major story. It's just one person doing one thing. But this is really going to be a turning point. The Southern strategy was something that you don't know anything about. Because what happened was, let me tell you something. You can debate me a little bit about abortion. I'll do that. I'll be happy to do that. Let me know. I can talk about it. And the latest on Alfie is that Alfie's alive still, okay? We didn't think that would be possible. Alfie's still alive. They won't send him to Italy. They won't let him leave the hospital. The UK is covering something up because if they weren't, they would have sent him to Italy by now. I don't think they want an independent autopsy done. I don't think, they're not keeping him alive. He's off all of his machines. He's off all of his machines. And he's still breathing because the doctors have no clue what the hell is going on with him. The doctors have no clue what the hell is going on with him, which proves that this whole brain dead theory is done. So they should just send this boy to Italy. I don't know what the problem is. He's an Italian citizen. They should just send this kid to Italy and let them do what they want. The parents, let them handle it. It's not a free country. Theresa May will never step in. She's totally clueless. I mean, it's utterly sick to see what's going on with this poor kid. And I hope that he lives. I hope he lives a long time. And I hope he comes out of this. And I believe in miracles. I believe in the Lord. I believe it can happen. I believe it can happen. Alfie's parents are young. They're younger than me. They are like really 20 and 22. This same hospital, the Alderhay Hospital, they've been found of doing some very nasty things with babies' organs in the past, selling organs. This is very much similar to Planned Parenthood. They've been found guilty. Do I think he would have a good quality of life? To be totally honest, possibly not. But that's not in my jurisdiction. To me, that's the parents' jurisdiction. This kid is alive. This kid is their parents. He's not the government's. He is not the government's. And for the UK government to exert this kind of real brute force power over him and over the parents' right to decide is sick. It's crazy. You would want to do all that you can do for your child if that was your kid. Now, if the doctors were trustworthy, it's another story. But I don't believe that the doctors are trustworthy in this case, only because if they knew what was going on, he would have been dead 3 minutes off of the ventilator like they told us. So, you can tell MI6 that I'm conducting political activity as a foreign national. Absolutely, go ahead. Go ahead. You can. I'm a resident. I'm a resident of the country, and I'm allowed to have my voice. So, I'm saying they're that young because what it shows is what the government's putting them through. I believe if they were a little older, the government would not be trying to get over on them like this. I think it's a joke. I think it's a joke. I think what they're doing is a joke. It's very sad. Hi, trolls. I speak fine, don't worry. I speak. It's a threat. I'm allowed to say what I want. They don't even know where my citizenship lies. They have no idea. They have no idea how I'm here. Everybody says, oh, you are working and living in the UK illegally. Y'all don't have a clue about anything. It's so funny. It's so funny. But go ahead. Y'all do what you want. This Alfie will either not pull through or will pull through. But the bottom line is the parents should decide. I really do believe that the parents and not the state should decide. It's very, very bad. And if America, I just wish them, I don't think they'll get involved. You know, they can't. Italy tried, nothing's going to happen. I just wish something would happen. Oh, they are starving him. They are starving him, is what I hear. He waits for Trump to tweet all day. Now he's doing it to Kanye. He wants black dick. Oh, you're so sad. The Pope, look, I hate to say it. If the Pope can't get him out, nobody's going to be able to get him out. This is an evil system. This is an evil system. And I really do believe there was some medical malpractice and they don't want him to go to another hospital. And if they were going to have him go to another hospital, it would be a problem. You can go ahead and block me, whoever wants to block me. That's fine, but you should hear other people's views. Like I said, I listen to everybody's views. I don't care. The second time they tried, they made a boo-boo. I believe that. I really do believe that. I believe that something was done wrong. I really do. If something wasn't done wrong, there's no reason not to give this child up to a second hospital for them to go ahead. They are holding on to him like there is something really bad going on. That's what it leads me to believe. That's what it leads me to believe. So, I'm not sure. Oh, I know, the UK medical malpractice is a joke. You can't actually get anything done here as far as a malpractice suit. Which in a way is okay. Because it's very difficult for the doctors in America to practice under this terrible, constant threat of medical malpractice suits. It actually, honestly, a lot of doctors then don't do certain things that in the end would possibly help the patient just by the fear of a medical malpractice suit. So you never know. I don't currently, but I was born there. I lived there my entire life, and I will be back there unbelievably soon. I'm just around. I'm a person who's around. I'm working as an international correspondent with Your Voice America, so I'm around. You know what I mean? You're here, you're there, you're everywhere. But I know more about what goes on in the U.S. than half the people in the U.S. because a lot of people just walk around asleep all day, and it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. So we have to be aware. We have to be aware of what goes on. Oh, I know. Here, the system here is a disaster. I believe that. I believe that totally. No system is like the United States. Yes, I'm on Your Voice with Bill. Last night I was on there with Brendan and Chris McDonald. It was a nice show. A very fun show. So, but I am going to go. Who farted? Y'all heard that? No, I'm joking. What are you talking about? What are you joking about? I don't speak like Trump. But, I mean, I was born in Philadelphia, but I lived in New York my whole life, so I guess we all sort of speak the same. Honestly, I'm with you. I didn't pay as much attention until Trump announced either. And it was really after that first debate that I just really got tuned in. I really, really got tuned in. And now I'm much too in. I'm so in. Oh, we all got to be in because it's our world, folks. It's our world. We don't need no influence from Sweden for anything. Y'all should see Sweden. You have no idea what's going on in Sweden. Maybe the healthcare is all right. I looked more at Norway. Norway has a nice system. The problem we have here with the United States is that procedures simply cost too much and medications cost too much. I want to pay for my healthcare system. I want to pay for my healthcare. I really, really do. And I say that only because when you don't pay, you have zero control. When you go to a hospital here and they don't want to do an x-ray on you, or they don't want to do an ultrasound on you, or they want to make you wait 10 minutes, you can't say a word. You can say something and then they just say, oh, well, you don't have time, or then you have to go and end up paying private, out of pocket anyway. And you're still paying taxes for everybody else to use the free system. So you don't use the free system. Yeah, if they stopped overcharging, if we brought the costs down, which you really could do easily, I'll tell you what brought costs up. One of the major things that really brought costs up was the Obama administration, not Obamacare, but electronics medical records. Nobody talks about it. Electronic medical records was a total mess. Practices spent hundreds of thousands of dollars going to electronic medical records for no reason. For no freaking reason. Obama mandated it because they wanted the government to be able to have access to all your healthcare records. And they wanted, the whole Obama administration's deal was, we're going to socialize medicine. The government will be in control of the medicine. Obama wanted single payer. He couldn't get single payer. So what he tried to do, he got electronic medical records. That means all your doctors can share all your records, which means you have no more privacy. If I have a mental health issue, why does my ophthalmologist need to know that? If I have a mental health issue, why does my podiatrist need to know what my ophthalmologist knows? It's all about control and becoming a subject. America's always thrived on individual liberty. Individual liberty. You also need state lines. You need to remove the state lines from insurance so people like Aetna can serve all across the country. You have that. You have that. What I said, electronic, you do. You have that. You don't want that. It doesn't matter if they know. It does matter. It does matter. Here's why it matters. Because it's a free country. And I don't need them to know. I don't want people... I love that argument from people. Why I got nothing to hide? What does it matter? Because we're the United States of America. That's why it matters. We're a country based on freedom. Freedom. I don't need anybody to know what goes on in my personal life. You can get anybody getting on these records. You think they're secure? You got a bunch of doctors that are like 75 years old setting up electronic medical records as cheap as they can so it doesn't interfere with the rest of their practices. You think they got the best encryption? You bet your ass they don't. You bet your ass they don't. I don't need all my information out there on the web. I just don't. And it costs money like you couldn't believe. You have no idea what it costs these practices to do electronic medical records. And who paid that cost? You and me. We paid that cost. It really doesn't matter. I know you say that. But you don't understand the concept, I guess. And this is a concept it's not in my generation. I can see you're young like me. You don't get the concept of liberty and freedom. It's just in privacy. My generation doesn't get it. I get it. So, I don't know. But anyway, I have a lot to do. STDs, pregnancies, why does everybody need... Nobody needs to know. Hundreds of thousands of dollars people spent on this stuff. Hundreds of thousands. And there were so many other regulations that Obama put on the doctors. Obama for doctors was the death of medicine. You have no idea. I know because I have family that are in the medical industry, doctors in the family. Actually, pretty much everyone in my family except my mother's a doctor. So, of some sort. I know I have a big nose. It's called Italian. So, bottom line, it's very, 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 it's all part of it. D-Dot. It's all part. See you, Jennifer. See you. I'm actually going too. I am headed to somewhere tomorrow, and I have to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get to where I gotta go. So, I will see you all soon, and have a great week.